Hi, I'm Adam Dede, and welcome to a video walkthrough of my poster entitled Frustrative Non-Reward Causes Generalized Inhibition That Affects Performance on Attentional Blink Task. So for some background, the frustrative non-reward phenomenon is when a drop from large to small reward results in poor performance. In rats, inhibitory signaling and stress hormone release are key to frustrative non-reward phenomenon. And the attentional blink is when subjects are asked to identify targets within a rapid serial visual presentation display, and performance is poor for targets that follow each other closely. So our three key questions: can our task cause frustration? Does frustration affect attentional blink performance? And are there specific effects of frustration on inhibition? So to induce frustration, we used a go, no-go task, and importantly, people in a frustration condition received the instruction, this task will be generally quite easy and you can win a large reward by performing well. For these participants, the task did begin easy, but then became hard, making it impossible for them to achieve the large reward. For participants in a control condition, they were warned ahead of time that the task would be quite difficult, and they were never informed that there was a possibility of winning an extra large reward. Subjective reports after this task indicated that participants in the frustration condition did experience a higher level of frustration than the control participants. Both groups then went on to do an attentional blink task, and in the attentional blink task, letters were flashed quickly on a computer screen. Most letters were white on a gray background, but up to 2 letters per trial were colored, and participants' job was to report the colored letters at the end of each trial. On standard trials, there were no repeated letters throughout the entire trial. By contrast, on primed trials, there was a letter embedded within the distractor stream that had the same identity as the second target. This allowed us to look at inhibition versus facilitation of information presented during the distractions. So we found overall that there was a reduction in performance on the attentional blink for participants in the frustration condition. This is shown in this graph where on the y-axis we see proportion correct for target 2 identification. And on the x-axis, we're looking at the lag at which target 2 was presented relative to target 1. You can see the classic attentional blink phenomenon indicated by the overall tick mark shape of the graph, and the control outperformance of the frustration group indicated by the purple dots being consistently higher than the orange triangles at lags 2 through 7. We took a look at how inhibition impacted overall attentional blink performance, and what we found was that for controls, inhibition as measured through priming was associated with better performance. That is, if they inhibit distractors, they tend to do better. By contrast, this effect was not there for the frustration group, but for the frustration group, better inhibition was associated with better identification of target 1, an effect that was not there for the controls. And we interpret this as indicating that for the frustration group, they needed to utilize inhibitory control simply to stay alert and pay attention to the task, which was not necessary for the control group. Thanks.